This is you and Mary.
I'm sorry, George, I can't. Error reading file partition. Data may be corrupt.
No. Right after I took this picture, she got stung by a bee on her foot.
Memory exception. Fatal error.
It's okay. Good try.
In this new show, Humans, it's set in a future that's not really all that far in the future. It's really the present, but with one difference. There are these sentient robots in the home and in the workplace. Tell me, what attracted you to this series? What brought you into it to begin with?
That was one of the aspects I loved about it, was that it was posing the big questions about robotics from our point of view, not from a futuristic point of view. So I like imagining who people are now, and or who they always are. But.
And you play a character that's really interesting. He's a robotics expert who's now a widower. He's in the home. He has this caregiver robot that he's bonded with. And then he finds that the robot's beginning to malfunction, but he doesn't want to let this robot go. He's bonded too much with this robot. This robot has too many of his memories along with him. And why do you think this character finds it so hard to let this caregiver robot go?
Because he finds it hard to let his wife go. The robot that you're talking about is not a sentient robot. Those come later. The robot is a repository of his memories of life that he had with his wife. And he had lost a piece of his own memory in a infarction of some sort. And so Odie, the robot you're talking about, is a reference station for him and the memories that they had together when Odie was present.
Your character is sort of projecting emotions onto this robot who's not really quite achieved sentience yet, like some of the other robots in the show.
Not quite at all. He's not. This is the key. What is sentience is one of the questions, and it's being asked from our point of view, as you said. So the only thing that's been moved up in terms of this setting is the fact that sentient or advanced robotics, domesticated robots, are a presence in our current lives. That's the projection. But in his case, the degree of sentience is a projection that George puts on him without losing his mind.
One of the questions that's being asked in this series, Humans, is the fact that robots may replace people in their jobs, and it leaves a lot of humans thinking, well, what can I do that robots can't do better? Mm-hmm. Do you think actors will ever face that question? Do you see yourself ever being replaced by a CGI creation or some sort of other robotic creation?
Physically, I'm competing with pixels. I don't think my imagination is. I think my imagination is just as much alive as it ever was. And for me personally, it doesn't actually make much difference what body gets to portray it, whether it's a cyber body or mine. Or what I'm mostly interested in personally is the mysteries of character and destiny and those interesting topics.
This show's on AMC, which also aired Mad Men. You're an Oscar winner, but there's a lot of talk about the fact that there's a lot of great things happening in TV these days. Shows with sort of novelistic kind of scope. Do you feel that TV's gotten better in the last decade or so? Do you feel like the better roles these days are on TV and not just on the big screen?
It's always a stereotype to be prejudiced about, a medium as much as a person. TV never obviated quality. It was a different format, but there were people like the Honeymooners who did it brilliantly. And Gracie Allen was one of the greatest artists of all time and always did her work on TV. So it's not TV that stopped anybody. It was the fact that now there's some people involved in TV who are bringing quality to the party. The quality I want, which is interaction, interesting topics, demands on my skills.
Humans is supposed to be an 8-part series. Do you see it coming back for more? Is this something you see running for a couple years? What do you think?
People are liking it, which is a good surprise. And maybe the appetite for the topic is now so wide that they'll find a reason to put some more on. I'm not in control of that. But I would be happy to be part of it.
And you're also, of course, acting in other movies. You've got Captain America, Civil War coming out, which you play Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. How is that going? It's filming right now, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's very, very different from the other, from the Hulk. It's really different because it's done differently, and the style is completely modernized. And so I'm not playing the graphic novel version of Thaddeus Ross. I'm playing a better suit.
Now, in the comics, your character becomes Red Hulk. Are we going to see that?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind feeling I had that much power. But I created Thaddeus originally as sort of as an ego the same size as the monsters, with the same degree of messed upness. Yeah, I'd love to have a shot at it.